Hi, I'm Kat from yogaandastrology.com. I teach yoga and astrology in a way so that you can connect with the heavens above by connecting with the earth below through your yoga practice. It'll make more sense when you experience it directly, and that's what we're going to do in today's practice. We're going to be doing some yoga for Aquarius season. So without further ado, let's hop to our mats and do some yoga. So as you bring yourself to your mats, come to a seated position with the soles of your feet touching, knees out to the side. And you can modify this pose a bit if you're a bit uncomfortable, maybe placing a yoga brick or a book under your knees, or bring your feet further out from your hips. Or you can sit up on a blanket, up to you. The body part associated with the zodiac sign of Aquarius is the ankles or the lower legs. Hence why we're starting by looking at them. Bring your attention to them. Maybe massage them. Maybe thank them. Keep your awareness in your feet throughout this practice. Got the option to fold forward here, keeping length in your spine. And hinging from the hips. You might set an intention for today's practice. Maybe it's, I love and accept myself fully. Or, I'm learning to love myself and accept myself fully. Now on your next inhale, take your left leg out long in front of you and keep your right foot drawing in, the sole of your foot to your inner thigh. Inhale to lengthen up through your spine, raise your arms. And exhale, start to hinge forward from your hips, sending your hands towards your shin or ankle. The idea here is to create length in your spine. Getting to your foot is less important. Inhaling to lengthen and exhale to fold further. Now come to swap sides, bringing your left foot to your thigh, and send your right leg out long. Inhaling to lengthen and exhale, fold forward. And breathe here. Now gently, in your own time, make your way to all fours. Hands are stacked directly under your shoulders. Fingers are spread super wide like starfish. Knees are stacked under your hip points. And see if you can create as much length between your tailbone and the crown of your head as possible, so your gaze might be down or just slightly forward. And try to fill the space between your shoulder blades by pressing down through your hands and creating a slight doming effect in the upper back. Inhale, draw your tailbone gently up, sending your gaze up. And exhale, draw your tailbone down, gaze between your knees. Inhale, your belly lowers, looking up. And exhale, belly draws in, tailbone curls down. Now in your own time, repeat this movement as smoothly as possible, moving with your breath. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral tabletop position. Send your right foot back, keeping your toes on the ground. This is a lovely calf stretch if you want to spend some time here reaching back and forth through the right heel. On your next inhale, step your right foot up between your hands and take your time getting it there. It doesn't have to do it all in one go. And once you're here, come up onto your fingertips and try to shine your collarbones up and out, creating length in the front body. Inhale here, and as you exhale, start to draw your legs in towards each other, almost creating a scissoring motion. And this should give you the buoyancy to lift your hands up, either to just above your front knee or sweeping them up overhead. Inhaling to lengthen and exhale, maybe take a gentle back bend. On your next exhale, return your hands to the ground and step back to tabletop. Second side, stretch your left foot back this time, keeping your toes on the mat. Maybe take that soaring action back and forth. Inhale, step your foot up between your hands, coming onto your fingertips, broadening through your heart center. Inhale here, and exhale, raise up, drawing energy up from the ground through your legs. Hands can either rest on your leg or inhale to raise them up to the sky. And breathe here. Inhale and exhale back to tabletop. Now send your hips back towards your heels. Untuck your toes for child's pose. Remember, this is a great move to take at any point in your practice, if you just need to take a rest or if you just fancy it. Arms can stay reaching forward or come back down towards your sides. You can also stay up in your elbows if you like a bit more space in this pose. And reconnect with your breath. When you're ready, come back up to kneeling for a nice, or not so nice, foot stretch. And as gently as you can, rock back onto your feet and lift yourself into a forward fold. Create space here by bending your knees generously. This will help your lower back to release. Maybe take your hands to opposite elbows and sway gently side to side. On your next inhale, start to slowly roll up to standing. Shoulders and head are last to lift. When you get here, take a moment to send some awareness to your feet. And without looking down at them, can you tell how close they are to each other? If they aren't already, see if you can bring them together side by side, again without looking down. And see if you can take that awareness up through your ankles, your shins, your knees, upper legs, your torso, chest and head. And reconnect with your breath. Now we'll do a modified sun salutation, followed by one with more options. Inhale, bring your hands up to the sky, gazing up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, gaze forward, bringing your hands to your shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, send your right foot back and pause here. Exhale, send your left foot back into plank pose. Inhale, bring your knees to the floor, moving nothing else. And exhale, bring your belly to the floor. Inhale, draw your shoulders back and down as you send your chest up for baby cobra. And exhale, bend your knees, send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees here to create more length in the spine. Don't worry about your heels not touching. No prizes for longest hamstrings. And remember to take the weight off your wrists by grounding down through your fingertips, spreading your fingers really wide, almost clawing the mat with your hands. On your next inhale, gaze forward, bending your knees, and step up to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, releasing your head. Inhale to raise back up, sending your hands to the sky, gazing up. And exhale, bring your hands in prayer at heart center. And breathe here. Notice the difference that one sun salutation has made to your energy and your breath. Inhale, raise your hands up, gazing up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, look forward, hands to the shins or to the mat. Exhale, step or hop back into plank. Inhale here. And exhale, lower your knees to the ground or take a chaturanga. Inhale to baby cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, bend your knees and send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Relax through your neck. And see what happens if you deepen and slow your breath. And take weight back into your heels by bending your knees and sending your hips further back. Inhale, gaze forward, bend your knees and step or hop to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward, head releases. Inhale, roll back up to standing, gazing up. And exhale, bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Now step your right foot back as far as you feel stable. Your back foot's toes are facing the long edge of your mat. And start to bend your left knee. Bring your arm to rest lightly on your thigh, palm up. Inhale, sweep your right arm up and over, palm facing down. Got an option here to take your left hand down to the mat, inside or outside that front foot. Make sure your knee is directly over your ankle. It isn't sinking one way or the other. And breathe here. On your next inhale, use your core to sweep you back up to standing at the front of your mat. Now lift your right knee up, ideally about as high as your hip. Keep your toes flexed. Inhale here and exhale as you bend your other knee and bring your right foot over your knee. And the foot might wrap around your calf or rest on the floor. Inhale as you send your hands up to the sky and exhale to sink a bit deeper into your hips. And keep your hands wide or bring them together in prayer. And this is eagle pose. And when you've had enough fun here, unwind and give your legs a bit of a shake out. Now send your left foot back as far as you can and without falling over, and turn your back toes out towards the long edge of your mat. And start to bend your front knee, taking your right arm to your thigh or taking it to the floor if you did that on the other side. Inhale your left hand up and over, palm facing down. Make sure your knee isn't tracking past your toes. Bring your attention to the back foot. Make sure the outer edge of your foot is still reaching for the ground. And breathe here. On your next inhale, raise yourself back up to standing and come to the top of your mat. This time, raise your left knee up in front of you. Maybe place your hands on your hips to make sure your hips are super even and you're not collapsing into either one. And inhale, send your hips back as you bend your right knee and take your left foot over that knee. Again, your foot might wrap around the calf or come to rest on the floor. Inhale your hands up to the sky, gazing up. And exhale, let your shoulders melt down your back and sink a bit deeper. And breathe here. Your next inhale, come back to standing, again shaking your legs out. Now bring your feet as wide as your mat. Your toes might spill off the edges. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart and start to send your hips back as you bend your knees and bring yourself down to the mat. Your elbows will be nestled in between your thighs. Maybe create some resistance here. So pushing your elbows into your thighs and your legs into your elbows. If this is super uncomfortable, just bring a block or a big book to sit on. Or just breathe. It'll be over soon. Now gently come onto your bums, sending your hands behind your hips and lower yourself onto your backs, knees bent, for bridge pose. So your feet are in line or slightly wider than the hips. Knees are stacked directly over them. Now draw your feet in towards your hips. Ideally, your fingertips graze your heels. Inhale here, and exhale as you gently peel your tailbone up from the mat, just an inch or so. Inhale, and exhale, send it back down. Let's try that again. So inhale, and exhale, gently peeling up your tailbone, maybe a few more inches this time. And exhale, send it back down. Now this time, let's go for gold. Continue to peel your spine up inch by inch. Make sure your knees aren't flopping in or out, but tracking forward over your toes. And send your chest up to the sky. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades in so your hands come underneath your tailbone and bring them together. Inhale as you ground through your feet and your shoulders, and breathe here. And slowly start to lower yourself back down for a soft landing, taking your hands out from under you if they were clasped. Now take your right ankle up and over your left thigh. So there's a kind of triangle shape that you're making with your legs. And stay here or reach through the gap between your legs, taking your left leg and drawing it up and in. Your left shin might come parallel to the mat. And breathe here, keeping your feet active, toes flexed. Now bring your right foot over towards the left-hand side of your mat. So you're coming into a twist here. Your right foot on the mat, and send your arms out long beside you. And gently send your top knee away from you. You should feel this in your right hip. And reconnect with your breath. Now exhale to bring yourself back to center, feet back on the mat, knees bent. Now take your left ankle up and across onto your right thigh. Inhale here, and you might choose to bring your right leg up towards you, drawing that top knee a bit closer in. Your next breath in, start to take your left foot towards the right hand side of your mat. Again, taking your arms out long for a nice twist. You might turn your head to look towards the left. And gently send that top knee away from you for a nice hip stretch. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next exhale, take yourself back to center, feet flat on the ground. And let's end with a happy baby. So take your feet up to the ceiling, knees bent like you're squatting on the ceiling, and bring your hands to the outer or inner edges of your feet. Depends what you'll prefer. You could also take the ankles, seeing as it's Aquarius season, we're focusing on the ankles. And you can rock your baby gently from side to side, keeping your tailbone drawing down. And feel how that affects the pose. When you've had enough, let your feet come back down to the mat and send your legs out long towards the bottom corners of the mat. And take your arms out by your sides for Savasana. As you bring yourself into this final resting pose, let go of any energy that you built up in today's practice, any tension you might be holding on to, and I'll share a few nuggets of wisdom about Aquarius season, with the intention that you get to experience the best this time of year has to offer. The sun is in the bit of the sky we call Aquarius from January the 21st to February the 18th. And if your birthday is in that time, you'll likely know that you have an Aquarius star sign, or in astrology speak, that's your sun sign. If Aquarius is your star sign or rising sign, it's likely that you embody qualities like fairness, imagination, truthfulness, and forward thinking. You might be a bit unpredictable to people around you, and you may at times seem a bit detached or aloof. That's because you're so cool. Aquarius is a fixed sign, which means you may be a bit resistant to change, at least when that change is instigated by others. Fixed signs are associated with the guna, or the earthly quality of tamas. Tamas can be symbolized as a tall mountain, strong and steady. Too much tamas, though, and you can feel lethargic or a bit heavy or stuck. If you are feeling that tamas energy, or lack thereof, the practice we did today will be a great thing to repeat throughout Aquarius season. And you want to be doing plenty of sun salutation focused sequences, as well as incorporating back bends and balancing poses. These are great for increasing energy and invigorating the body. I'll stop talking now and let you rest.